Talk to you about a while. Tyler Pastorio got hurt in the Hawaii game and has not been back. Is he retired? Is he done?
Most likely. Well, we're just waiting with concussion. You don't mess around with that, so we'll just wait and see. But whatever the doctors say, whatever he decides, so we're going to take that obviously very, very seriously.
Right. So his status is still unclear.
Okay. Yeah.
What about the kicker that had handled kickoffs for a while? JR has been out all year as well.
I mean, he's lower body, injury. So when you got a lower body injury, it's tough obviously as a kicker because with all the torque and all the force you're trying to generate. So right now for him, he's out for right now.
Right. And then Nelson Smith hurt his ankle. What is your thoughts on him for Cincinnati?
He practiced well today. I mean, he did some limited stuff, but from what I saw, it looks like he'll be able to go. I mean, he did limited practice today, but I think he'll be able to go wins.
And then Kendall Wright set out the game again. Is he look like he might be able to come back soon?
No, he's got some health stuff that he's working on, but hopefully he gets healthy quick. And he's working hard and he's looking better, but not to the point where he's ready right now.
Okay. And then last but not least, C.J. Williams didn't get in until the end of the game. Did he have kind of a setback at the end of last week, or?
No, just working him back slowly. Hopefully he'll be full speed this week.
Mm-hmm.
And he's obviously one of our better players, young players, and we're hoping that he'll be full go this week.
Okay. I know you're one of the most competitive people I know, and I know you don't like to lose. How do you handle this situation? I mean, personally.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's really, really hard.
I mean, I know it eats you up inside.
But you just got to keep coming back, come to work. You know what I mean? You keep trying to keep battling, keep fighting. That's what you tell your kids. You just got to come back and go to work. I mean, you don't get in this line of profession unless you're a competitive guy.
Right.
And so, you just got to continue to keep going. We continue to do stuff in our staff meeting and try to make sure that we're getting the best, getting the best work done, getting the best game plan together, trying to make sure we have the best guys out there. The thing that helps those, we have a strong foundation, Wags. I just think if I hadn't been doing this for a long time and, you start to, grasp at different things.
Question yourself or question.
Well, just everything. You know what I mean? You just stay the course. It's not to say you don't look at things and try to see how you get better. You got to continue to work your butt off, but you also recognize that we're not playing very well. But we just played two teams that are in the top 20. You know what I mean? One was in the top, probably going to be in the close playoffs. So, I mean, you take everything in perspective. It's still, I mean, a loss is a loss, and you don't like losing. But Notre Dame, we lost 50 years to them. Right. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So, I mean, you just keep working though. It doesn't mean you'll stop, but it's still hard to lose to those guys. It's still hard when you don't play well. So you just keep working on all that.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a fine line you walk because I mean you set the tone for the whole program. The assistants look to you, the players look to you, and you have to on the one hand say you don't want to panic, but at the other hand you do have to make sure they understand there's a sense of urgency to try to turn things around. It's kind of a balancing act, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, but you guys don't see all the meetings we have. I
mean,
you just see you don't see all the other stuff we do, Leisha. I mean, we don't just come so. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't see, but we don't need to put on Facebook or Instagram and tell everybody this is what we're doing. I mean, but you continue to work, but it's not like we're going to put it on CNN or anything, just. But there's things that you do to continue to try to make sure that you're, moving in the right direction.
Right, and obviously as you get further along, I mean, you have to start winning to have it. And you had mentioned on the teleconference about still having goals, and I would imagine you're talking about a winning season and going to a bowl game.
Yep.
But the opportunities are running thin. Is
very thin, and again, these guys are a lot smarter than me. They recognize all of that. And,
right, you don't have to tell them.
Yeah, they know how important this game is. And last week was important. The week before that was important. But obviously they get more and more important. But it's not like you can come out here and practice for 7 hours and have meetings for 22 hours. You just got to try to continue to make sure that your work is smart. You're working hard. We're talking about just practice out here. I mean, just making sure when you're practicing, practice hard. We got finals, so you got to make sure you do that. I mean, it is what it is. Been here 21 years. They're not going to cancel finals because we're struggling.
Right.
Our guys got to work on that, and we got to make sure that we have a good plan for our guys.
And the last but not least, I'm going to write about Sean Williams leads the nation in forced fumbles, which is pretty impressive. You think of the whole country, he's forced 5 fumbles. Any thoughts on that? That's a fairly impressive statistic.
Well, he's worked really hard at it. Coach O'Brien's really helped him on all of that. You know what I mean? And so he's a guy that's always, trying to strip the ball. He works really hard in practice. But that's a byproduct of all of his hard work.
It's your middle school or something like that, he told me. But, what's your thought on him? I'm doing a little feature on him.
Okay, Taylor Jackson was a great guy, obviously. Grew up, my family and his family are real close. Grew up together, played Little League, got to middle school, we played together.
Weren't you rivals? Your parents, your fathers coached on
Yeah, definitely. They coached on opposite sides of the ball and other teams as well, Little League. So it was always fun playing against them. So high school, when I played defense, I was lined up against them, so we always competed with each other. So me and him have a great bond with each other.
And it kind of helped the two of you to come here and go through this together?
Definitely did. So when we made our decision, ultimately, on signing day, we both talked about it, and we both were the ones who pushed each other to come here. So definitely had a lot to do with it.
And one of the things I'm writing about is he did a nice outreach with a young man who's has some difficulties. And I mean, is that kind of him, a big heart guy?
Yes, definitely a big heart guy. I remember the guy that he was talking about, and he was always took care of him, was with him. He actually has his tattoo of the day when he passed away on his arm. So Taylor's a great guy, and it just shows what type of person he is with everything that he did with him and how he took care of him, but also how he just takes care of people and everything. He's just a great guy overall. So
I wanted to talk to you. You're leading the nation in forced fumbles with 5. I mean, that's a pretty impressive accomplishment. I mean, can you talk about that?
I guess that just comes from doing it in practice. Playing in the game and trying to look to give our offense more opportunities to get the ball. So I've been proud of myself on trying to capitalize on those opportunities, whether it be in the air or just somebody carrying it on the ground. And, sometimes I just end up in the right place in the right time. And, our defense runs to the ball, so it makes it a lot easier for, it could be any one of us to just come aggressively and pop the ball out. So, fortunately, it's just been me, but the main focus is just getting the ball.
So I know that Coach Pearson put an emphasis on that, and then all the other position coaches are working. So is that something that during the August training camp maybe that you all worked on, trying to get the ball out, do what you can to?
I mean, looking at last year, we were just we were more successful when we won the turnover battle. Mm-hmm. And, we always pride ourselves on that on offense with how we carry the ball. So it just translated that into the defense. We just saying that we got to get the ball. So it started even way before August. It was just a recap thing. So I'm glad that it's working out, but looking to do more so it can give us even more of a chance to win.
So how do you approach it when you're making a tackle? Are you're trying to rip out, or do you? I mean, I don't know how your forced fumbles have all occurred. Have they all been strips, or some of them from just a hard hit?
And some of them are just because being physical. You always want to secure the tackle first, but if you're second guy in, they always say second guy in, go for the ball. So. Really, it's just been being aggressive and not something that I'm consciously thinking about. It's instinctual. If I see it, I'll try to reach for it, but mostly I'm just trying to get to the ball. Not something that's very conscious. You want to rep it in practice, so it's second nature.
So the one on Saturday night against Boykin on the first play of the game, was that from a hit, or did you strip it?
That was more from Jared being aggressive and being physical with the taller receiver. He got his arm pulled down while he was coming around the corner from the other block, and me being chasing the ball and getting in there, he was able to open it up, so all I had to do was punch it out, and it didn't even take a lot. So it's really credit to Jared and the rest of the defense running to the ball and getting it.
Right. And so in terms of the season you're having, because you're ranked second on the team in tackles, obviously you have all these forced fumbles, you feeling pretty good about the way you're playing personally?
Personally, I just wish it was translated into the game. All that is fine and all and everything, but that's not my focus. The focus is the win and the loss column, so that's what I work towards. And then if that brings accolades, then that's fine, but that's what we're really focusing on, getting wins.
So people like me, the media guys, we look at this stuff, but it seems like you would be a candidate to play in a postseason All-Star game. Is that something you would like to do, to get invited to one of these senior All-Star games they have?
I mean, of course, I'd be honored to play in that, if the opportunity presents itself, I'm definitely going to do that.
It's Mr. Strassmeyer has to get you pumped up for that. That's all on him. If you don't get invited to a postseason game, you need to talk to Scott Strassmeyer.
Well, it just means I got to earn it.
All right. Well, obviously the story I'm doing is he leads the nation in forced fumbles. It's a pretty impressive statistic. It's quite an honor to be in that whole country. A lot of good players out there. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we try to pride ourselves on defense and being fanatical and, flying around, running to the football and being physical. So, a lot of his fumbles have been, him hitting somebody and him putting his shoulder right in the right spot, or like last week he just managed to get his hand in there and pop the thing out, very similar to the Memphis game. but that's what we like to pride ourselves on. I mean, we harp on it, 4 and a score on defense, and you know, obviously we haven't scored yet, but you know, that's the ultimate goal is to get 4 turnovers and a score every week. So you know, we pride ourselves on it in practice. We keep track of them and really harp on the guys to try to, you know, get turnovers, and especially with Sean, you know, he's, you know, a physical kid, and you know, really all of them. I mean, Juan had a big hit in the Memphis game that popped the ball out on Henderson. So, but we pride ourselves on it. I mean, that's what we are on defense. We like to be physical and you know, win a physical battle. So.
Do you all work and teach on stripping? I mean, I know, like he just said, you secure the tackle first, but do you kind of practice guys trying to strip the ball?
Yeah, so I mean, in fall camp we did a little circuit, a turnover circuit. So we work on, you know, coming in there and trying to get your hand in there and pop the ball out. We do it in practice, a lot more on the perimeter on plays where you know, guys will run down the field, and we tell them, you know, once the first guy gets there and secures the tackle, everybody else can go in and take a shot at the ball. So
right.
You kind of just get work on it in the team periods in practice. So that's kind of how we get the work in.
Well, obviously one of the reasons that Sean has 5 forced fumbles, he's getting to the football, clearly. And he ranks second on the team in tackles, which, you know, you always expect the inside linebackers to be at the top. So for safety to be up there high is pretty impressive. Oh, can you just talk about the way he does run to the ball, with, you know, fanatically?
Yeah, I mean, all of them do. It's just he kind of gets in a position where he's closer to the box a lot of times, so he ends up in making more plays. I mean, you look at last week, we probably made about 5 or 6 tackles out in the open field that were, you know, big time plays, balls that spit through that, you know, Coach Niumatalolo talks about it on defense, but the safety's got to be the eraser of the defense. So if anything goes wrong, you know, we're back there to make the play. And you know, between him, Jake, and Juan, they've all made them this year. So, but we pride ourselves in the safety room, especially, of being the eraser of the defense. That if anything spits through, we want to make sure we get them on the ground. So, you know, yeah, we teach the technique of tackling, but a lot of it's just find a way to get them on the ground, however you got to do it. So, but you know, Sean does a good job of leveraging the ball and tracking the hip and wrapping guys up and getting them on the ground. And you know, a lot of it's just physicality of, you know, we also call him the torpedo sometimes because of the way he comes in to tackle. But you know, it's a physical game, and if you can come downhill and hit somebody hard, there's a good chance that they're going to go down. So.
Right. So I was asking him, I mean, these senior All-Star games, you just mentioned that a lot of it comes from scouts want to see guys, but he's had a great career. He's been a very good football player. I mean, he's probably got pro potential, I would imagine, based on what I've seen. You think that he would be deserving to go to a senior All-Star game?
Absolutely. I think it would be, you know, great for him to have the opportunity to go and, you know, not only represent the Naval Academy and that, but, you know, show off his own talents to, you know, NFL teams and scouts, and, you know, have the opportunity to play at the next level. So, I mean, I know a lot of people have come through already asking about him, but, you know, he's obviously done it throughout his career. He's played corner, he's played safety. You know, he could probably play a couple positions for us, but, you know, safety's kind of a good spot, like you said, for what he does. I mean, he's back there, he makes all the tackles he can, and, you know, knocking the ball out and doing that kind of stuff. So I hope he gets the opportunity to. I think it'd be good for him, and again, for the academy as a whole. So.
And last but not least, do you know it's your grandmother's 92nd birthday on
Thursday?
This week? Yeah. You gonna
November
wish her a
1st.
happy birthday when
Absolutely.
you see her in Cincinnati?
I sure am.